What's going on, guys? It's Salvaje. Here's my Fortnite Save the World in-depth weapon review on the paint train. Oh my god, I'm so sorry that this review came out a little bit late, guys. I completely forgot that this weapon came out today. If you guys want to use my supported creator code Salvaje, that is highly appreciated. With that said, let's get into the weapon review. Alright, so one of the things that I want to point out about the paint train assault rifle is that there really isn't a lot of bad things or any bad thing to point out about this assault rifle in general. It's really good. It's a consistent damage powerhouse, and in a team-based environment, you're just going to be dominating when it comes down to exterminating husks. You're going to be destroying husks so quickly that you're going to have to literally just stand in their spawn and wait like a good 3 to 4 seconds so that the husk can respawn again, because that's how quickly you melted every single husk. And I'm not even exaggerating, guys. At least the setup that I was rocking with Urban Assault Headhunter and Master Grenadier Ramirez for that extra 24% assault rifle damage, I was just melting everything with this assault rifle. And that's one of the things that I want to point out in this weapon review, right? I really do believe that this is an assault rifle made for soldiers. Like, if you have Urban Assault Headhunter, if you have a soldier, use this assault rifle with a soldier, because this thing is meant to be used with soldiers. It is just a complete powerhouse, like I've been saying throughout the review. Another thing that I noticed about the weapon is that it has a lot of bloom, but for the most part, it's not really going to be a big issue. Now, one of the best things that makes this weapon such a consistent assault rifle that can dish out some pretty decent amount of damage numbers is the fact that within a 6 to 7 tile range is when the weapon starts losing about 50% of its damage. And this is a big deal because other assault rifles in Save the World, like the Siegebreaker and the Gravedigger, they start losing about 50% of their damage at about a 5 tile range. What this means to you is that you're going to be able to be dishing out more damage to targets that are at the longer ranges with the paint train assault rifle. And I definitely just want to point out, you should absolutely spend your schematic XP on this thing. It's pretty amazing. When it comes down to the hip fire and how reliable it is, it's not going to be super reliable at the medium and long ranges, but if you get overwhelmed by husk at the close ranges, you can hip fire this weapon and you're just going to be melting every single thing that it gets in your way. On top of all that, the headshot damage that this weapon has is also pretty amazing, and if you get all of the husk lined up, they're just going to be dropping extremely quickly because of course the high amount of damage that the weapon can provide. And now, of course, we want to talk about recommended perks. So I went with critical rating, double critical damage, and I slapped on a magazine size on it as well. And one of the things that I realized about this weapon is that it had a base 10% critical hit chance. And when it comes down to weapons that have a base 10% critical hit chance, about 90% of the time you always want to go with an overall damage build, because a 38% chance of, getting a critical damage shot is honestly not really that worth it. However, I'm going to explain why I went with a critical rating, critical damage build. First of all, you have 2 critical damages, and second of all, the weapon already does some pretty decent damage, so I felt like going for an overall damage build wasn't really of super importance. I also didn't want to waste a lot of reperk, which is extremely hard to get, so, just want to point that out. And I should also point out that I reviewed the weapon with a critical rating perk all the way up to legendary and a magazine size perk all the way up to epic. So long story short, when it comes down to damage numbers, I was able to get a lot of consistent damage numbers because I had my critical rating, of course, all the way up to legendary. And of course, I should also point out that if you go for an overall damage build with a paint train assault rifle, it's not really going to be a big deal. In fact, I also think it's a pretty smart idea to go for an overall damage build. Anyways, another thing that I want to say when it comes down to this weapon is that sometimes I would destroy a shielder husk and then I would still have bullets left in the magazine to finish off the husk. And the reason for that is because every 15 shots fired, alright, you're going to be getting about a total of 27% extra damage to your weapon, thanks to, of course, the last perk that the weapon has, which is why I would also say that if you go for an overall damage build, the paint train assault rifle would also still be an amazing powerhouse and probably even better than a critical damage, critical rating build. But then again, I'm not really much of a numbers guy, so I guess some other guy's gonna have to figure that out. Anyways, when it comes down to the star rating, it's gonna be an easy 5 out of 5 stars. Get this weapon, level it up. It is amazing. I hope you enjoyed the review, and sorry that it's a little bit late, boys.